Let's bring Debra Opri into this conversation, legal analyst and renowned litigator. Good morning, Debra.
Good morning. Today I'm disagreeing with both of you.
Okay.
I support her, and I'll tell you why. And I want everyone out there to hear what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with her that everyone's saying is, why did you wait so long? And why now? I want everyone to be aware in the state of California, there's Assembly Bill 1619 that was passed in September 2018 and which took effect January 1st, 2019. That extends the statute of limitations for civil filings on sexual assault from 2 years to 10 years, allowing more survivors of sexual violence to come forward and file a civil action against the abusers. So she is within her legal right to do this. It is also a fact that people have delayed stress and emotional issues down the road. Now, specifically with this lady, she worked with him. He was with the Lakers from 2014 when the alleged incident occurred to 2016. Within weeks of him leaving and going from the Lakers to another team, she took her action. As far as the timing with a book, with this, with that, I think she clearly in the complaint set forth that she had a relationship with both him and his wife, and she trusted him. And isn't this what sexual assault is usually about? It happens with someone you trust. So I think she is within her legal rights to file. I think she did have issues of safety, and then when he left Los Angeles, she no longer had to confront him. And here's the stupid thing about handling cases from a plaintiff's point of view when they say, I'm ready to file now. When do you start feeling safe? If she had to confront him and be in his world regularly for her job, I can assure you she really had a lot of emotional angst dealing with what do I do.
Why not go to the police, though?
Just one last point.
Yeah.
Is the filing of this lawsuit a step in having her deal and get rid of this issue? I think it is, and I don't think it's about the money. And I'm sorry I talked so long, but please.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Why not go to the police, though? Because if I thought I was sexually assaulted and I was within the statute of limitations and I felt powerless before, but suddenly I found my voice and I wanted to come forward and let the world know that this is what happened, I would go to the police and I would tell the police what happened. I wouldn't go to civil court first.
All right. First of all, the statute that I brought up to you, AB 1619, folks, is civil. Criminal is a whole nother ballgame. Why didn't she go to the police that night? And this is all I could think about if I stepped into her shoes. It wasn't a rape. He offended her and assaulted her, but she could deal with it, and she tried to. So that's why I don't think the police were brought into it.
But now it's still within the statute of limitations, though, for the criminal aspect. But she says she doesn't want him to go to jail, that she doesn't think it warrants that.
That's what you call a press conference dialogue. I don't know why they're talking about criminal prosecution when they filed a civil lawsuit. So I just think the criminal prosecution lower statute of limitations should be off the table for conversation of her civil action, because she's blown a statute with the criminal prosecution filing, and probably there's not enough there in her brain to have filed it at that time. I think the civil action is a statement.
Laws aside, just from the way it looks, and I'll just say this, it's not like he was her boss. She's a subordinate. He was kind of like a friend. And this is why I don't buy this line. Women get untoward advances put in their direction all the time. This is just part of being a woman. That's part of life. And if you're in the sports world, as I was for 10 years, that's life. And you do suck it up. And, you know, sometimes guys come on, they have the wrong idea. And you're like, dude, get serious. I don't think everything.
You just answered the question.
What's that?
You just answered your question. He wasn't her boss. It wasn't anything like that.
That's why I don't think she was as afraid as she's saying, it's haunted me for years. I don't buy that at all.
Jillian, look at it this way. She would have been prevented access to the Laker organization by him. He could possibly have done that. Mm-hmm. And she didn't want to screw up her job or her access. So I think that was it. Now, you're probably a stronger personality like me, and it's like, hey, dude, I'm not going to your hotel room. Come on down, or let's let the agents handle.
Absolutely.
She is not you, Jillian. She's not me. Mm-hmm. And she's not required to be.
But I still can't figure out why she wouldn't cooperate with the police or bring the allegations to the police. If you're going to go the civil route, why not go the criminal route too?
Statute of limitations.
I thought that the statute of limitations weren't up on this.
In the end, listen, John, in the end, I think this lawsuit was to make a statement on the Me Too movement. Yes, it happened to me, and I am not letting you get away with this.
And I'm selling a book. And the book's title is...
Well, let's talk about this. My reading is this book was written when, and she sought his... I
think she has a new one coming out.
Forward when?
She has
a
new
second book.
Yeah, this is her second. It's coming out now. So.
But I understand that. But the initial book, on that initial basis of why she went to the hotel room, and she's now doing a podcast, and she's writing a new book. Do you truly believe that she filed a lawsuit without any basis solely to sell a book? Do you?
I think that's certainly a possibility. And let's put that in the context of this Daily Breeze story. This was a story published in the Daily Breeze in December of 2016. And she testified in court as the former fiancé of a one-time UCLA offensive lineman who lost part of his leg in a 2012 motorcycle accident in Redondo Beach. She testified that the pressures of being his caretaker eventually prompted her to call off their wedding plans. Quote, "It just became too much," said Kelli Tennant, who was engaged to Amir Nick Ektabani. Quote, "I'm trying to build my career at the same time I'm trying to keep this guy alive. I just couldn't handle it myself anymore." So she made a major life decision in this regard because she thought it would help her career. I think if you're willing to leave your fiancé over something like that, you're certainly willing to do something to promote a book at a book tour.
Let me give you another angle as to how she thinks. She obviously doesn't deal well with pressure. Because when you love somebody, you're going to do what you need to do. So she either obviously didn't love him enough, or she can't handle the pressure. She can only juggle one or two balls at a time.
Well, who's under more pressure, him with no leg or her? I feel bad for him.
I understand, but she was a very young caretaker, wasn't she?
She was.
It's her emotional strength. Again, Jillian, you and I come from a different cut of cloth. She is obviously of that persona where she can only deal with so much.
Till death do us part.
Complaint to sell a book? I don't know, but I'm not going to say it's the only reason she filed a lawsuit.
All right, let's shift gears for a second. Let's say Luke Walton calls you and asks you for advice, because so far he's spoken through his attorney where they denied these allegations and they essentially said that she's a publicity seeker. What advice would you give Luke Walton?
I would tell Luke Walton, in this instance, if it happened, explain what happened. If it didn't happen, deny it. Mm-hmm. But you need to step up to the plate, because in this Me Too movement today, he's being swept up in that woodchucker machine. He's yet another casualty of this Me Too movement. And does he need to speak out about it? I don't know. Is a public apology necessary? Why not? Why not? If you misinterpreted me when I thought you came to the hotel room and I thought we're going to get it on or whatever, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm very sorry, but it was not my intent. Or, he can just take that very strong, harsh response that his attorney has taken. She's a publicity seeker. She's trying to sell a book. Never happened.
How aggressive can he get?
Say again?
How aggressive can he get
without looking bad? Yeah. This is a very public opinion thing.
I don't think he needs to get much more aggressive. I think what his lawyer said is sufficient. If you want, there is different strategies in defending. Okay, just like there's different strategies in filing as a plaintiff. If you're a defendant, you take a hard line of get lost, you're a liar, or I apologize to you. And you've seen men across the board doing these different things. What works? What works? The answer is still out there.
Debra Opri, legal analyst
Thank you,
and
Debra.
famed litigator. Thank you so much for stopping by this morning. We always appreciate your opinion.
Always.